Mr. T.T. Jagannathan is joining us right now, Chairman at TTK Prestige Limited. Sir, thanks very much. Sorry to have kept you waiting, sir. Apologies. Prashant this side. Sir, I just want to start by getting your perspective on the slowdown in the consumer durable segment, sir. Relatively still stronger growth compared to other sectors in the economy, but compared to the growth in the sector itself, it's kind of slowing down. What's your view, sir?
I agree with you. It is slowing down compared to last year and year before last. And while it is growing still faster than the other segments of the economy, there is a slowdown.
So let's say the next 2-3 years, sir, what will be the average trend growth rate in revenue, sir, according to you? You have managed to beat the slowdown by constantly expanding the range of offerings as well. But what's your sense at TTK Prestige?
Well, I can't predict the future. It all depends upon what government does, whether the country's growth rate improves, what the dollar-rupee equation is. There are a lot of factors, and I really can't. I don't have a crystal ball. But I will assure you that we will continue to beat the market, as we have done in the past.
So 45% last year, that's fiscal 12. First quarter growth was about 29%. So fiscal 13 will be around this, around 30%, under 30%? I mean, not 2-3 years, but this year.
We have given a guidance of 25.
25.
Yes, we have given a guidance of 25% and we'll maintain that, for sure.
So, I mean, going forward, the segment is attracting a lot of new players as well who are competing with you on price and claiming to offer the same value proposition. What do you do, sir, in the market? You got the strongest franchise, no doubt. But how do you protect that?
Well, we do not compete on price, we compete on the value proposition. So obviously our value proposition is better than what the competition is providing, otherwise the consumer will not buy us. And we have consistently gained market share.
So no plan to compete on price? I mean, you wouldn't do that?
No.
Absolutely no plans. Okay, very clear about that.
Absolutely no plans. No.
Okay, all right. I got that, sir. I mean, so let me go the other way. Any plans to raise prices, sir, in any of your product offerings? Yeah.
Not unless there are cost increases. We do not opportunistically price at all. We only price if there are cost increases, we will have price increases.
The currency depreciation, I'm sure, is increased import costs, sir. I mean, that's already all taken care of?
It's all taken care of, and luckily the rupee-dollar equation is now stable for the last 5-6 months. So I think that's behind us.
Sir, could you talk about imported components, sir? I mean, and what is the sensitivity to, say, your margins in terms of what the currency does? I mean, is there something that you can help us with? What is the sensitivity?
I don't understand the question.
So, say, for example, for a rupee, if the rupee depreciates by 1%, what is the impact on TTK Prestige's margin, sir?
Well, if we do nothing about it, we will lose 1%. But we don't do nothing. We do something about it. We increase our prices and to match the equation.
Sir, okay, got that. Havells recently entered into the market. Just to go back to the point I was making, newer and newer players. V-Guard, I think, has expressed its intent to come into the market. Broadly, as an industry, I think that's one big risk people highlight. At some point in the future, it'll become a race to the bottom in terms of pricing. Is that likely to? Do you see that happening? You are very firm right now that you won't compete on prices. But for the industry, sir?
Let me tell you that the consumer is upgrading all the time. The consumer is not buying on price, consumer is buying on value. And our plank is innovation. We come up with newer and newer products, better and better products, so we don't need to compete on price.
Could you talk about the Greenfield project in Gujarat, sir? What is the timeline and what is the update?
We should be in production the last quarter of fiscal 13.
You're paying about 7% of sales for advertising and image building, sir. Is that ratio likely to remain steady there, around 7?
We have maintained that ratio for the last 10 years. And for the foreseeable future, I think we will maintain that ratio.
Got that, sir. Mr. Jagannathan, thanks very much, sir. Great talking to you. And, industry beating growth rates now for years. Thanks indeed. Good luck, sir. Appreciate it. That's TTK Prestige with what they're seeing happening in that space. And that's, as I said, I mean, beaten pretty much all rates of growth in all sectors that you can think about. 3617, very emphatic, Mr. Jagannathan, saying that they won't compete on price, even if competitors try to do the same. Also offering the insight that consumers in that category are constantly upgrading, so the risk of down trading is also perhaps limited in that sense. 3617, stock's been a huge outperformer.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.